Hello, this is Sheshachalam from Astroguide Mysore. So today we are seeing Datta Putra Yoga. When we call Datta Putra, that means this is a yoga for adoption of a child. So if the native concerned is having a combination such which will give rise to Datta Putra Yoga, then that person will have probability of adopting a child. So let us understand there are many ramifications in this. Many. One is that a couple doesn't have children because they have difficulty in conceiving or having a progeny biologically, and then they go for adoption. Secondly, is that though there are some people who are healthy, very fertile, but still they do not want to have their own child because of the they have a very open mindset and they would want to adopt a child. There are some cases which I have seen where this has happened. It's not that people are adopting child only because they are infertile. So don't keep that in mindset. The third one is that when a person gets married, he is getting married to a person who is already having a child. So in that person's, the person who is already having a child, that is one of the couple, will not have the Dattaputra Yoga. But the person who is getting married to him or her will have Dattaputra Yoga. So these are many combinations which one by one will come to surface when we are discussing about explanations through practical charts, which is a very long process. But anyway, I am teaching here. It's a classroom kind
I
of
will
a
also
thing.
add that second point wherein they are open-minded and they adopt a child, even if they can have a child themselves. There are basically two major reasons. One, if their lifestyle is too busy and they don't have the time to spend that much time for the 9 months
The process of those 2 years.
of 2-3 years.
Yeah.
So that is also one reason we have come across.
Yeah.
And second reason is they have that mindset of doing charity. So they feel that
they want to do good to the society.
Yeah.
They, I have met a couple who very clearly, openly said, this was a very odd thing to happen, but it happened. In an Indian marriage, when it was an arranged marriage. It was a very odd thing to go through, where the couple, after the marriage was done, immediately took the mic and they announced in front of everybody, so that the relatives will not keep asking. They'll keep asking in India that, marriage happened, it's already 1 year, no good news, no children, what is happening? Is there any problem? They'll keep asking 101 questions in this family. In the Indian family setup, this is a very big thing. Having children after the marriage is a very big thing, because the relatives and everybody, I don't know why they do this, but it's a common factor. So they keep asking, and to avoid this, the husband and wife, newly married couple, even 10 minutes was not passed, so they took up the mic and they both told that we unilaterally we have decided, even our families have decided, we are not going to have children at all. Biologically, we don't have any problem. We are fertile, but we are going to adopt a child whenever we want to adopt a child. But we are not going to have children. So please, all those people who are here, all this, my side and the boys' side, please do not, trouble us by asking us, when will you have children? So these things keep happening. Some people keep commenting on YouTube, telling that, why do you tell these stories? But these are the stories which give us
experience.
a keen eye into the observation of their charts. You go and take their charts and observe what is happening here. Why is this?
Because if
that
they
is
are
how
doing
we
it-
learn. That is how I have learned.
If they are doing it for the charitable purpose, then the placement of planets will be different.
Different. It will be entirely different. So people should not understand that adoption will happen only because there is a difficulty in procreation. No. In this case, it is a difficulty in having progeny, and double case here. There is a double hit here because of the Mercury, the difficulty of having progeny. The second thing is because of the Saturn Mars and the where it sits in the fifth house, it nullifies the strength of the fifth house, and hence it also induces, Saturn induces the phenomena, that is the process of adoption. So let us go into this thing. Yoga. So the parameters, the first parameter, there are two parameters, both of them can work. That is why there is an or here, that is this or this. So going ahead, Mars and Saturn in the fifth house, that is the house Putrasthana, the fifth house, the house of progeny, with, after that, Mars and Saturn in the fifth is one condition. Along with that, that is an and here, Lagna Lord is in position, aspect or conjunction with Mercury, or it is placed in its own sign. That is, Lagna Lord should be with Mercury or aspected by Mercury, or it is posited in Mercury's sign. So let us take an example of this first parameter. So let us take any placement. I'll just take Sagittarius, and I'll take Mars and Saturn here in the fifth house. Mars, being the fifth lord, is in the fifth house here. It can give progeny. Can give progeny in the sense here, it's showing that it might be an adopted child. It's not simply making them, the home childless. It is going to give you progeny. But because of Saturn, there is a chance of adoption. There's a chance of adoption. I'm not ruling out that they will not have their biological child here. So all examples will not be totally perfect. So the Lagna Lord is either here, or let us say the Lagna Lord has got exalted in the 8th house along with Mercury. So there are many combinations. The Lagna Lord is in the sign of Mercury, that is Jupiter, or the Lagna Lord Jupiter is along with Mercury, or aspected by Mercury, So this constitutes Datta Putra Yoga. You should also understand that there is another provision in this yoga which does not involve the fifth house being posited along with Mars and Saturn. It can also be that Mars and Saturn are aspecting the fifth house, wherein the fifth house has become weak, or there is a Karako Bhavanashaya concept where Jupiter is sitting in the fifth house. Many
combinations
variations,
are there.
lot of variations. So going to the second parameter, which I will be explaining in the North Indian chart, the seventh lord is in the 11th house. The seventh lord is in the 11th house, and the fifth lord is with the Benefic. So let us take
Same ascendant.
We'll take the same ascendant. We'll
9.
take number 9, that is Sagittarius here, and the seventh lord is Mercury, and we are going to put it in the 11th house. So that is the 11th house. Okay, that is Aquarius, and the fifth lord is with the Benefic. The fifth lord for this is Mars. So the fifth lord, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is the fifth lord, and that is along with a Benefic. So let us put a Benefic. Shukra, here the Benefic is very clearly a natural benefic. These natural benefics are the ones which cause difficulty in giving progeny, because whenever the fifth house, the seventh house, or the fifth lord or the seventh lord is associated with natural benefic, in most of the texts very clearly it is given that there will be difficulty with either marriage or with either progeny. So the fifth lord, that is Mars, is associated with a Benefic, that is Venus here, and then we have Mars and Saturn in the fifth house. That is not happening here because the fifth lord itself is along with the Benefic, but we will put
All
Saturn.
these three you can put.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Yeah, you can put all the three here.
I can't put Venus here because Mercury is there.
Yeah, that's
So
what.
Mercury and Venus cannot be away from each other to such a big degree. So it has to be understood. Okay. So Saturn, Mars, and Benefic, that is Moon. I have put in the fifth house itself. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
For the moon, everybody should understand they should see the waxing moon.
Yeah, waxing moon and the waning moon has to be understood here to understand the strength of moon. You should also see the Shadbala of these planets before going into or jumping into any decision.
Because here in this case, moon, though it's a temporary, it's a Naisargika, but it is the eighth lord.
Naisargika Shubha Graha.
Yeah, but here it is the eighth lord.
Eighth Lord,
It
yeah.
will pose
Being the
difficulty.
eighth Lord, sitting in the fifth house is sort of a difficult, placement. Anyway, this is one of the examples in the North Indian chart style to make you understand that this is also getting classified under Datta Putra Yoga, whereas this is also Datta Putra Yoga parameter number 1 and parameter number 2. So with these yogas, as people are asking me that you are doing the yogas, giving us the results, sir, but if the negative yogas are there, you need to give us remedial measures. So remedial measures are again dependent on the
Each chart.
roga, a different kind of difficulty what a person is going through. Nowadays, the most important or one of the most highlighted difficulties is anxiety. So, out of 100 progeny problems which are highlighted in men, 90 of them are because of anxiety. People are going through very high anxiety to meet the requirements of profession and to meet the requirements of the social status. They are going through extreme professional anxiety. Because of this professional anxiety, they think the blood strength and the potency of the procreation strength goes down. It eats up the sperm count, and then they are losing all the strength there. And normally they are not able to have children, and they will have to go through a medical process, go through a psychiatric process. A lot of mental counseling is happening. So this is the main reason for men, whereas for women, the lifestyle is hitting now, because most of them are not this is the 70 to 80% of cases which is been seen in the chart. People suffering from, for women, I'm telling you, people, they are suffering from issues of lethargy and what we call as the
No exercise.
the lifestyle is very
Sedentary.
So because of this sedentary lifestyle, what is happening is that they are not having good blood circulation, and they don't go out in the sun. They lose the vitamin D day by day.
And also for the working women, they are not able to manage
overwork. They are not able to balance nowadays. What's happening?
work life and personal.
Work life, personal life, family life, along with that, the kitchen, what they have to maintain, it is becoming too much for them. And they are also going through heavy anxiety problems, which in turn is showing itself very strongly over the ovarian disorders. So we can see PCOS, PCOD, which again, if you go deep into it, we can see adenomyosis, endometriosis, we can see adhesions, we can see malfunctioning of the uterus or the production of egg. If you go through the full cycle, then you can see that somewhere in the cycle, the egg is not, the follicle is not bursting open properly, or something is happening. And there are fibroids, there are cysts developing on either one side or both the sides. So this is, multiple problems.
So remedy, please mention.
So remedy, the best remedy till date, which is acting like, what we call in a normal word, what we call as Ramabhan. Ramban. Why we call it as Ramban? Because when Rama would,
He took the bow and arrow.
the arrow would never miss. So the best remedy here is to regulate your routine. Get into a good routine, particularly for hormonal problems. Swimming, and good nutrition, chew your food, and try to see that the most important thing I'm trying to tell you, switch off the Wi-Fi till morning. Never have an active Wi-Fi night. This activity is hitting people a lot. So this is particularly for people who are suffering from obesity related progeny problems, people suffering from thyroid related progeny problems, and people suffering from what the hormonal deficiencies or hormonal malfunctions related profession, progeny problems. So with all that, coming back to Datta Putra Yoga, the what is the planet which is suggesting Datta Putra? Datta Putra is adoption of a child. The planet which is suggesting it is Saturn. The planet which is cancelling the Putra Yoga along with Saturn is Mars. And the planet which is suggesting that the person would have a frail, weak body or there would be difficulty in procreation is Mercury. So this is very clearly shown in this chart. So the fifth house is the house where the egg is produced or fertile eggs are produced. The fertility is seen from the fifth house, or even the sperm, the fertility is seen from the fifth house. If any chart, now that the Dattaputra Yoga has been explained, today I'll be doing only in English. So the Dattaputra Yoga has been explained, but let me go ahead to make you people understand that if there is only a benefic planet in the fifth house, there is another yoga called as the Aputra Yoga. You should understand that Aputra Yoga, there are several types of Aputra Yoga. Aputra Yoga means that childlessness. So the God's message through the horoscope is very clear when he gives you a benefic, unafflicted, no adulteration in either the fifth house or the seventh house. Very purely placed fifth house. Beautiful benefic. Here the benefic would be either Shukra, Chandra, Guru, or Buddha. If these four natural benefics, any one of them or all of them, or any in combination like Buddha Shukra, that is Mercury Jupiter, Jupiter Venus, Mercury Venus,
or
Buddha
even
Shukra
single planet also.
or even single planet,
Especially
if they
Jupiter
are
for
not afflicted, if it is not retrograde and there is no aspect of any planet and it is beautifully posited, that is very clear message. It is a clear message.
Don't add on karma.
Don't add on karma to this world or your own life. So that means if you are having a beautifully placed seventh house with a clean placement of Venus, and you are a young girl who is aspiring to become a doctor or an engineer or something in the life, please become. Don't get distracted and get into any relationships because it doesn't work there. You will not be able to choose the person and the person will not be right for you because you are in a pure state with the seventh house, unafflicted seventh house, beautifully placed Venus in the seventh house. So that is why people, when they are doing interpretations, they will tell, oh, Venus seventh house, I think he has multiple relationships. No, that is when the Venus is afflicted or the seventh lord is very weak. The Lagna lord has to be weak first of all. If the Lagna lord is weak, that means the person lacks commitment. If the seventh lord is weak, that means the person will lack commitment in relationships. So the Lagna lord has to be weak, the seventh lord has to be weak, and the lustful planets will have to put their eyes or the bad eyes over the seventh house, which will make it powerfully. The person gets attracted unnecessarily and goes into adulteration. Adultery, no, not adulteration. Sorry, adultery or get into some problems. So when there is a beautiful fifth house, which is very nicely posited, unnecessarily
Go for higher studies.
become a doctor, do
Good for
social
the
work.
society.
You are for that. You are born for social work because fifth house, people don't understand the fifth house because they think it's only progeny. No, it is Purva Punyasthana. It is the Purva Punyasthana which is telling that this is why you are born for. If you do a mistake and get into the prarabdha with children, your fifth house will do its work, but it will get delayed. it will get simply thrown 25 years or 20 years ahead. It is like when one of our rockets, PSLV, fell down. It was such a heartening situation for us when INSAT 1B or INSAT 1C or something, which was one of them fell down. I was watching it live in DD1 when in Doordarshan, when in India it was live telecast. I felt very bad, and the same day evening when the Prime Minister spoke and very clearly told that India has gone back 5 to 7 years because of this one rocket which fell down. That means technology will throw us back, and we will be like, in the race to get good, levels of lifestyle. India went back around 5 to 7 years when it is compared to other countries who are all developing countries. So, same way, a person who is actually going in a fast stream, God has given you that chart for you to simply, go zoom past everything and be very happy in whatever you are doing, and you want the trouble. So you will tell, no, it's not enough. I'm very happy. I don't want to be happy. I'll pick something up. So you will have children. I'm not telling it's not for all. Putra Sukha Yoga is also there, where people will get extraordinary happiness because of children. Putra Sukha Yoga. That has to be done. I'll do it. But please try to understand, there are many variations.
Please do not take us wrong.
No, don't take us wrong. Here we are not trying to tell you that children are prarabdha karmas or they are the ones who are giving trouble to you. No. It is for those people whose chart is clearly telling that you should not have children.
You should wait
For those
something
people
else.
only, not for anybody else. For others, when there is a malefic in the 5th house,
Enjoy
you
the
don't even
karma.
have to ask, children will happen. So it will happen by themselves. So, anything else we have to add on here as a remedial measure? Like any
Remedial measure.
traditional remedies we have to put on
It
here?
depends upon the chart to chart. So
Chart to chart. So,
traditional
the
remedy,
best traditional remedy would be to offer your financial help to the orphanages.
orphanages
The number one traditional remedy
for children
the 5th house,
not
for
having children.
Putra Sukha, for people who want to have children. You can also be what we call as a shadow help. You don't have to come out in light and tell that you are doing it. You can be a shadow. You can be a person who is hidden out of the books but still are helping some orphanages, or one child or two child you can adopt in an orphanage where they actually can do very well in their studies, and you can actually provide them the financial support and sponsor. So sponsoring a child is a great thing. So other than that also, see,
Here I like to
Go
add-
Rakshana.
Yeah,
Go Rakshana.
I want to add one point. If the friction is majorly because of Jupiter, then you can sponsor the education of the child.
Yeah, that's what I'm telling. Education of the child without even the child knowing that you are sponsoring it. It can go through proper channel. So you can also do Go Rakshana. Go Rakshana is like saving the progeny of cows. See, why I am trying to tell you this is, if you see outside, you can see the covered, cow herd, not the covered, cow herd, the person who will be having the cows like the shepherd. You can see outside most of the times the person is going along with only female cows. Where's the bull? So all the male calves are all, going to slaughterhouses, which is a huge karma on all those who are drinking milk. I am drinking milk. Everybody is drinking milk in the form of coffee, tea, or any other beverages. So people who wants to exonerate themselves, this is the word I am using, exonerate themselves from this karma. If you are able to provide a shelter for the male calf by stopping the culling of the male calf, then it would be a great help to humanity, and it would be a help to many thousands of people, because we are all suffering. I think it's an accumulated karma over our subcontinent, because we have the biggest gene pool of cows. So thank you very much for today's class, and I hope I have covered this subject with all the remedial
Once
measures.
again, please add on the remedies are the normal routine, which includes exercise,
Exercises,
good
daily
food.
walks, good food, particularly sunbathing for both men and women. They don't spend time outside. You have to spend time outside. Do Surya Namaskar, which is very important. You can see people coming from subtropics, from Tundra region to Goa. They are all lying down on the beach only for the sunbathing so that they can generate the strength to have children. We are in the subcontinent. We have this tropical environment, and why are we hiding inside our homes? I don't know. So we need to come out and do our exercises in the morning sun. So thank you very much for today's class.